Welcome everyone to today's Explainer. Get ready, because today we are untangling a truly fascinating automotive detective story. And honestly, the best part? It's all hidden right in plain sight. It is tucked inside what usually looks like the most boring thing in the entire world, a completely mundane corporate patent filing. I mean, on paper, reading about a new car seat sounds about as thrilling as looking at the thermal efficiency charts of your dishwasher, right? But in the automotive industry, context is absolutely everything. A simple piece of paperwork can actually sketch a rather fascinating blueprint for the future. So today we're going to piece together the clues to figure out what Dodge is really up to.
Okay, let's dive into this. Dodge recently filed official paperwork for a piece of equipment that, at first glance anyway, they absolutely do not need. I mean, why go through all the legal and engineering hassle for a specialized racing seat that doesn't even fit their current racing lineup? It's wild. To understand why this is such an incredible mystery, we need to examine exactly what it is they just designed.
Clue number 1. The curious seat patent.
So what's really interesting here is the specific engineering detailed in this filing. Usually, when you look at dedicated track cars, you see these highly rigid carbon fiber buckets bolted directly to the floor. They literally do not move. But Dodge's newly patented seat, it tilts, it reclines, and it fully adapts to entirely different body types. According to the filing itself, this seat is engineered specifically for low-roofed vehicles where getting drivers in and out in a massive hurry is absolutely critical. Now, if you've ever spent a night watching a chaotic pit stop during a grueling endurance race, you probably already know exactly where the story is heading. But before we jump to any massive conclusions, we really have to look at the context of Stellantis and Dodge as a whole.
Which brings us to the motive, a motorsport contradiction. Just take a second and think about Dodge's current brand identity. What is their modern motorsport footprint? Well, it consists mainly of drag racing and NASCAR trucks. These are disciplines where you basically jump in, race, and get out. Driver changes during a run? That's an absurd hypothetical concept. Actually, scratch that. It's just physically impossible in a 4-second drag race. But then, we look at this patent. It is built precisely for fast multi-driver adaptability and chaotic, high-speed driver swaps. There is just this glaring contradiction between their straight-line, 4-second identity and a highly engineered endurance seat.
The source material we're looking at puts this so perfectly. Quote, filing a patent for high-speed driver swaps when your primary passion is launching in a straight line for 4 seconds feels like buying scuba gear for a trip to the Sahara. It's a brilliant analogy, isn't it? It makes absolutely zero sense. Unless, of course, the grand plan is about to reveal itself and Dodge is secretly planning a completely different kind of trip. So, to figure out where that trip might lead, we need another piece of the puzzle.
Clue number 2. The Copperhead SRT.
Earlier this year, Dodge teased a brand new concept under a freshly minted label. They are calling it a hyper muscle car. Now, this is a marketing category Dodge essentially invented out of thin air. And why? To bridge a very, very specific gap in the American automotive landscape. They want to sit right in the space between traditional Ford Mustang muscle and the mid-engine exoticism of the Chevrolet Corvette C8. They are actively repositioning their entire brand strategy. And while the initial reveal of the Copperhead felt a little bit foggy, there was one physical detail that was undeniably real.
Look at the back of the Copperhead concept. What do we see? We're looking at a massive rear wing and highly aggressive underbody aerodynamics. I mean, this is heavily reminiscent of the old-school Viper ACR track weapons. But you have to ask yourself, why in the world does a traditional muscle car, which is meant for blasting down a drag strip in a straight line, need extreme downforce? So we have a fast-adjusting endurance racing seat on one hand and a new high-downforce corner-carving vehicle concept on the other. Let's start connecting these dots, shall we?
The grand conclusion, the GT3 master plan.
Let's talk about GT3 endurance racing for a second. In GT3, driver swaps aren't just common, they are absolutely mandatory. Every single pit stop is timed down to fractions of a second. In that highly chaotic, high-pressure environment, a quick-adjusting modular seat isn't just some luxury comfort feature, it is a tangible, measurable performance advantage. You save seconds, you win races. And of course, to survive in GT3, a car absolutely requires serious downforce and cornering capabilities. Suddenly, the scuba gear makes total sense, because Dodge isn't heading to the Sahara anymore. They are preparing to dive straight into the deep end of endurance racing.
And this brilliantly illustrates the real driving force behind all of this, the rivals. Look at the landscape. Ford already has its Mustang GT3 out there literally conquering international tracks. Chevrolet is out there honing its dedicated Corvette racing machines. And Dodge? Well, Dodge has kind of just been sitting on the sidelines of the international road racing stage. But if Dodge wants a seat at the grown-ups table with Ford and Chevy, it needs a car that actually turns corners. The Copperhead SRT, equipped with this crazy new seating technology and aggressive aero, fills that exact blank on the board.
Granted, automotive patents are frequently filed just to mark intellectual territory before they sit there gathering dust on some corporate server. That happens all the time. But when you look at the totality of the evidence we've covered today, a modular racing seat literally built for fast swaps, a concept car with massive track-focused downforce, and a clear market position aimed right at America's top sports cars, a really clear picture emerges. Which leaves us with this final, burning question. Is Dodge finally ready to turn corners and take the Copperhead SRT to Le Mans? Because honestly, it certainly looks like they are gearing up for the fight of their lives. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope it gave you a totally new perspective on what's brewing behind the scenes in the automotive world. Keep your eyes on the track, and we'll see you next time.